I have seen nothing but mixed to very bad reviews of Don't Worry Darling, so I wasn't expecting greatness at all going in, and pretty much anything anyone else has probably said about the film is spot on. Florence Pugh and Chris Pine carry it. There's hints and the foundations for a really interesting world and a really interesting story that is very, very underdeveloped in the film. You don't feel like you explore the parameters or the kind of logistics of what this world is, how it functions. And so it feels very hollow when you leave the film at the end. I got to the end and I thought, is that it? The whole kind of unraveling of this utopian society was quite well paced up until the ending. And then they do nothing with it, because I have so many questions about how it operates. And it's not kind of one of those things where maybe it's better left unsaid and left to the imagination. You just feel like, well, hang on, if we don't know this, how do we know that this plot holds together? I do agree Harry Styles is miscast. A lot of people said, he's not a bad actor at all. I wouldn't say he's bad, I wouldn't say he's good either. Like, when he's with someone as just god tier as Florence Pugh, his amateurness kind of is exposed in every scene. You feel that she lives it, you feel that she inhabits the role at a much deeper internal level, whereas with Harry Styles' performance, it all feels very external. It feels like he's putting on a show. There's no kind of like deeper sense of truth to the character. It does feel like an actor trying to act, whereas Florence Pugh just embodies. And it's the same with Chris Pine. Whenever those two have a couple of scenes together and they have a really fantastic kind of tense standoff, you think this is what the film should have been. This is where the focus should have been. These two actors kind of butting heads. They promise a lot more conflict with these two than they then give you in the rest of the film. Chris Pine kind of drifts off into irrelevance, and then they cut back to him once at the end to kind of wrap up his character in a very unsatisfying way. For the most part, the setup of the film is quite good. It takes its time, it introduces you into that utopian kind of state of bliss, but with that underlying sense of obviously everything's not quite right here. And then it does all completely fall apart towards the end. It's well shot, the music's good, it's well edited. Florence Pugh carries the film on her shoulders. It's one of those films that you'll come out of thinking, I didn't mind watching it, I will never watch it again. It wasn't interesting enough, it wasn't like a Black Mirror episode which tells a really self-contained story about a very unique world and kind of taps into one specific issue with it and just hammers home that idea really well. It feels like it touches on a lot of kind of surface level ideas and then doesn't really kind of go any deeper than that. The film is supposed to represent this kind of allegory for female empowerment and kind of agency and independence and taking that back, taking control. And I think I would buy into that a bit more if they explored the world that these guys were living in a bit more. How kind of dystopian, utopian is this? You don't see enough of the broader parameters of society to really buy into the one specific microcosm of it that we're looking into. I think there's so much of this story that they've glossed over that then results in the characters not feeling, very well developed, very well explored, which is a shame because it simmers with potential and it never kind of boils up to the top. It's not game changing, it doesn't make you think too much at all. It was definitely a misfire, Don't Worry Darling. I know a lot of people are watching it purely for the controversies and the drama surrounding the actual production, but as a piece of cinema, it's very, very mediocre entertainment. Please let me know what you guys thought about the film. Drop a comment below. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. That's always a huge help for my channel. And in the meantime, we will see you for the next vid. Thanks for watching.